Thanksgiving was supposed to be about family, about gathering around a table, sharing food, laughter, and a sense of belonging. But in my case, it became the night everything cracked wide open. The house smelled of roasted turkey, cinnamon pies, and mashed potatoes. Children ran through the hallway. Conversations filled the air with overlapping noise. I'd been on my feet since morning, running errands, helping cook, buying extra wine, making sure everything came together. I thought I was part of this family. After all, I'd been paying the mortgage, covering bills, keeping this roof over everyone's head. So when her brother stood, glass in hand, and suddenly spat, "Get out! Paying bills doesn't make you family," the room fell into a hush. Forks froze midway. The kids stopped their laughter. His words sliced through me like a blade. For a second, I thought I'd misheard. But his stare was steady, his jaw tight with contempt. Before I could answer, my wife leaned close to me, her voice low, sharp, and cruel. "You're just jealous of my girlfriend because he's richer than you." The words rattled in my chest, leaving me breathless. My girlfriend? My wife's girlfriend? I looked at her, searching her face, trying to make sense of it. And then I realized she wasn't joking. She wasn't drunk. She was dead serious. The betrayal wasn't just in her whisper, but in the smirk that curled on her lips, the satisfaction of finally letting the mask slip. And then, as if to twist the knife deeper, she glanced across the room, at him, the man she'd been introducing as her friend, the one who always seemed to hover too close, the one who had insisted on bringing an expensive bottle of wine tonight. My chest burned, but I forced myself to smile, to keep my composure as every eye in the room burned into me, waiting for my reaction. "Then let him pay the $15,000, I said calmly. The silence thickened. My wife blinked, confusion flashing for the first time. Her brother frowned. The so-called friend shifted uncomfortably in his seat. "15,000? My wife scoffed, trying to recover, her voice suddenly higher. "Yes," I said, my smile unwavering. "15,000. That's the total I've paid in bills this year. Your mortgage, utilities, insurance, repairs. 15,000 to keep this house warm, to keep the lights on, to put food on this very table. If I'm not family, then your girlfriend can take over starting tonight." I pushed back my chair, the scrape of wood on tile echoing like a gunshot. "Because I'm done." Gasps rippled around the table. Her brother opened his mouth, but no words came out. My wife's face went pale, the smugness draining away. The man she was smirking at avoided my eyes entirely. I walked to the coat rack, pulled on my jacket, and picked up my keys. My hands shook, not from fear, but from release. For years, I'd carried the weight, bills, responsibility, loyalty, while she carried secrets. For years, I had convinced myself that if I just gave more, sacrificed more, maybe she'd love me the way I loved her. But standing there, in the middle of what was supposed to be Thanksgiving dinner, I realized the truth. I wasn't her partner. I was her safety net. I was the ATM. And worse, I was a fool. As I opened the door, her voice cracked behind me. "Wait!" But I didn't turn around. I stepped into the cold November night, the sting of betrayal cutting sharper than the air. I drove in silence, my hands tight on the wheel, my mind replaying everything I had ignored. The late nights she spent out, the way she dismissed my questions, the sudden closeness with that friend, the constant comments about money, about how I couldn't keep up. I'd wanted to believe it was stress. That love just changes, that families fight. But love doesn't sneer in whispers. Love doesn't smirk at your pain. Love doesn't betray you at your own table. Over the next days, the fallout came quick. She called, texted, begged me to come back. She swore it was just emotional, that I was imagining things, that I was overreacting. Her brother sent messages filled with excuses, telling me family fights but forgives. But forgiveness isn't free, and trust, once broken, doesn't just snap back. I met with a lawyer. I pulled receipts, 15,000 in bank transfers, mortgage statements, bills, all in my name. I stopped payments. I cut the cord. And as I sat across from her in that office weeks later, her face drawn and pale, I felt nothing but clarity. You said I wasn't family, I told her quietly. You made that choice. So now, I'm just taking you at your word. She broke down then, sobbing, begging, but I stayed steady because the truth was she hadn't just betrayed me. She had betrayed the life we were supposed to build together, the foundation of trust and loyalty that makes a family real. And though walking away hurt, staying would have destroyed me. That Thanksgiving, I lost my wife. But I found something more valuable, my self-respect, my freedom, and the strength to stop paying the price for someone who never saw my worth. Money doesn't make a family. Love does. And when love dies, no amount of paying bills can bring it back.